You ever had one of those weeks when everything just goes by in the fastest blur and you almost can't even remember quite what went on because it was so surreal? At the end of it, you look back and you think, what the hell did I do this week? To explain, I got a new job, auditioned for a show, got into the show, got the job. Unfortunately not the part that I wanted, but we're not going to go into that. I'm just glad to be back on stage again. On top of that, at both of these things, both the interview and the audition, I encountered people who I didn't expect to encounter, people that I hadn't seen in quite some time. And it's interesting to me how something like that, something as simple as seeing someone that you haven't seen in a while can change your perception of what you are doing or change how you do things in what you're doing. Now, in the interview, instead of being the calm, cool, confident, collected son of a gun that I usually try to be, I was surprised, and I was in this, what just happened? What? That kind of mode. And same thing with the audition. I got there and I was waiting for it to start, and all of a sudden someone walks in who I literally haven't seen in years. One of my favorite people. And I just made eye contact, waved at each other, smiled, and it went from there. And again, in that mode of surprise. Now, I think it's actually better for on stage than it is for an interview, but for a play, you want that energy, that surge of adrenaline that you get from seeing someone you haven't seen in years. Oh, by the way, then I walked in, turns out the choreographer was someone that I knew years ago. So there's also that. Also terrifying performing for someone who you haven't seen for years. So, after all of our reacquainting is done, I get on stage, and for God's sake, why did no one remind me that dancing actually requires muscles? Seriously, my thighs feel like pancakes that were hit by a truck. I'm still happy to be in the show. Like, there's something about it, something about the anticipation of starting a new project, starting this thing where I get to be goofy as hell. By the way, it's Rocky Horror Show, so I'm probably going to be wearing little to nothing. Please. Enjoy that image. But I think there's, again, like I was talking about before, there's still this kind of sense of nervousness and anxiety, especially since I'm going to be starting the show and the job at the same time. So not only will I be learning parts for a show, dancing parts, where I'm apparently going to be on stage the entire time because chorus, but I will also be having to learn the new processes for a job. It's going to be a fun adventure, I think. We'll catch you later.
Just a little laugh.
That's okay.